easy is it to fly with your sweetie pie? It's very easy. I do it all the time.
Let's talk about flying with your pet.
Now keep in mind that each airline has their own rules and prices for carrying your pet on board with you. So when booking your flight, make sure to look up the specific rules of the airline you're flying with. Nearly all of them will charge you for your pet's ticket. Prices vary from $95 to $125. Some airlines limit each passenger to 1 pet per carrier per passenger, while other airlines allow 2 pets per carrier per passenger. Also, some airlines have a limited number of pets allowed on each flight, so you'll want to be sure and get your pet reservation in plenty of advance time. But in all cases, the pet has to be able to stand up and turn around inside the crate, so obviously you can't take a large dog in cabin with you. There are rules.
But if you have a tiny sweetie pie, you could just sneak them on.
No, I do not recommend sneaking your sweetie pie on an airplane because if the airline discovers you've got a pet, you may not be able to take your flight.
Well, couldn't I just pay for the pet's ticket right then and there if they discover her?
Yes, in most cases you can, but what if the flight already filled up with their pet quota? What are you gonna do then?
Well, no, I wouldn't like that, but they would have to see or hear my sweetie pie to even know I have a dog.
Shh. True, but traveling is stressful enough without the concern over hiding a pet on your person. So let's talk about how strict the airlines are and what you can expect when you're traveling with your sweetie pie. When you first arrive at the airport, if you haven't already checked in on your phone, or if you have any bags to check, you'll have to go to the ticket counter. If you have a pet with you at the counter, they'll likely see it and hopefully have room on the flight, and then they'll charge you whatever their pet fee is. And they'll give you a boarding pass for your pet.
Okay, so just don't take the dog to the counter with me? Maybe I could have a friend hold the dog for me while I check in. Or maybe if I don't have any luggage to check, I can just check in on my phone and download my boarding pass and skip the ticket counter altogether.
No, don't do that. Do check in on your phone and download your boarding pass, but never mind. So after the ticket counter, you'll be taking your sweetie pie through security. And this is the easy part. Security always checks the human's boarding pass, but they don't care if you have paid for a ticket for you to bring an animal on. Now they will see your pet, and don't you dare try to hide your sweetie pie through security. At best, you will land yourself detained, and at worst, you will microwave your sweetie pie in an X-ray machine. No, do not hide your sweetie pie through the security line. You just take him out of the carrier and hold him. Just him. No harness or collars. Security will see that you're holding a dog, and they'll have you bypass the X-ray machine. And they'll do the old-fashioned security screening instead with a wand or whatever. And in the meantime, they'll likely be gushing over the adorableness of your sweetie pie. And in one case, I even had a security lady yell loudly across the way to her boss to come see the adorable puppy. I ended up with 5 TSA agents surrounding me, gushing and oohing and ahhing over my baby.
Yeah, I remember that time. I was so scared they were coming to arrest me. And then I was so happy to discover they were just coming to ooh and ah.
What? No, whatever. You weren't there. I had paid for my sweetie pie's ticket. Now keep in mind that if you have a larger dog that doesn't fit in a crate under the seat in front of you, you'll have to check the dog in cargo. Currently, there are very few airlines here in the United States that even allow pets in cargo. Only American, Alaska, and Delta allow pets in cargo. So if you have a large furry friend, you only have a few choices. And by the way, these airlines are constantly changing their rules and prices, so this video is accurate information in the US as of now, August 2023. Now, after you pass through security, you'll be free to walk around the airport as you like with your sweetie pie. In fact, many airports have a pet relief station in this part of the airport, so your sweetie pie has a place to relieve themselves. I see many dogs walking around on leashes inside the airport, even beyond security. So it's perfectly acceptable to have your sweetie pie there, especially because you bought him a boarding pass, right? Okay, so your last point of contact is as you're boarding the plane. When the gate opens and people start to board, the gate agent stands there reading each person's boarding pass. While she's checking boarding passes, she's also eyeing your bags to make sure that they'll fit in the cabin. We've all seen people stopped at the gate because their bag was too large to fit in the overhead compartment. So make absolutely sure that your bag will fit under the seat in front of you, because you do not want to put your pet in the overhead compartment. And I really mean that. A few years ago, there was a story in the news about some lady who tried to sneak her Frenchie on a flight, and she ended up putting it in the overhead compartment, and it died up there during the flight. So it's really important that your sweetie pie fits in the carrier, that the carrier is a pet-safe carrier with vents on the side, and that the carrier is stowed safely under the seat in front of you.
What if my pet carrier has a light sweater draped over it, just for the time I was in line to board the plane.
No, that is not a good idea, because these gate agents are very good at checking out your bags. Sometimes there's even 2 gate agents standing there. One is taking your boarding pass and the other one is eyeing your bag. Do you remember that one time we were coming home from Germany with our sweetie pie and we had bought a pet ticket with our seat? But what we didn't realize was that once we got into the US and had to switch planes in Seattle, that flight needed a separate pet ticket. We didn't realize we had to buy another pet ticket for the second leg of our flight, but luckily the gate agent had room on the flight and just charged me the pet fee right then and there at the gate, and we boarded the flight no problem. Only $150 poorer.
Well, you could have just put your sweetie pie in this lovely sling with a light sweater draped over the top. And when she saw the crate, you could have just showed her that it was empty. She wouldn't have charged you then, and you could have just boarded the flight, put the puppy in her crate under the seat in front of you, and they would never know.
No, you don't want to do that, because what if your sweetie pie barks or poops during the flight? Now, I do fly a lot. In the past year, I've probably flown with my sweetie pies like 18 or 19 times. And I find that it's usually super easy. Just follow all the rules.
Or don't.
And it's a breeze to fly with your sweetie pie. They're small, compact, and usually just content as can be to be in their little carrier under the seat in front of their mommy or daddy. I do recommend to check on them throughout the flight. Make sure they have water and see if they need a little food and love. And of course, don't forget to tell them, it's not scary, it's not scary. If you have any comments or questions about flying with your sweetie pie, please leave those in the comment section below. I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Sweetie Pie Pets. Bye-bye!